Well, well, well. What do we have here? It looks like a tweet from Nintendo of America telling us that tomorrow we're going to have an official, real, actual, tangible, full Nintendo Direct. Man, a lot of people are looking pretty foolish right now, and none of them are me. I made a video back in November last year telling you guys about this. I made a video just last month in January telling you guys about this. I even made a Twitter poll where, granted, it's a smaller Twitter poll than most of the ones that I make, but still, out of a couple of hundred votes, 43.5% of you told me that you think Nintendo Directs were completely dead and Nintendo had moved on from them. Despite that, through everything I said in those videos and all the stuff in my live streams and on Twitter, it turns out that no, Nintendo Directs are definitely not dead because they're coming back tomorrow. Okay, let's bring this down. Clearly, I'm just joking and having a bunch of fun here in the beginning. I'm gloating a little bit because really no one believed me or was listening to me when I was making these videos. I mean, I had viewership on my videos, so people were listening to me talk about it, but very few people were really believing me. At least half of people thought that it was just impossible. But it turns out that actually everything I said was pretty much true. And, you know, to all of our surprise and to all of our excitement, Nintendo is finally returning with the real deal, a Nintendo Direct. Could this be any cooler? Of course, don't forget before I dive too much deeper into this whole exciting Nintendo Direct topic that I'm always trying to grow the channel. I post and upload several videos every single week about Metroid, about Nintendo as a company, about all things gaming. So as you watch this video, if you seem to like what I'm doing and what you hear, then hopefully you'll consider subscribing to the channel to help me cross some more milestones very soon. So here we go, guys. It's been 531 days since the last Nintendo Direct in September of 2019. We have been through hell and back between that last Direct and where we are now, knowing we finally have a full-fledged Nintendo Direct tomorrow. It is very, very exciting. It's really crazy to think that we've finally gotten here because, all things considered, who knew what was going to happen? Yes, I was telling you guys over the past several months that I believed Nintendo Directs were not dead and that they would come back this year, even specifically in Q1, but there was always a chance I wasn't right, you know, and every time I make a big prediction about anything, I always try to remind you, I am just predicting, I am just theorizing or guessing, which means I could be wrong. Even if I believe my theory, I could be wrong, but that didn't happen. In this case, it turns out that we are finally back. I showed you the tweet at the beginning here, but let's look at it one more time because it is very exciting what they're telling us here. So, this morning, they did tell us, tune in February 17th at 2 p.m. Pacific time for a Nintendo Direct live stream featuring roughly 50 minutes of information focused on available games like Super Smash Bros. Ultimate and games coming to the Nintendo Switch in the first half of 2021. So naturally, there's a couple of very exciting things that we can take away from that tweet. The first and most obvious is 50 minutes, you guys, almost an hour. And this is really showing that I think Nintendo understands the situation. And just like I had been theorizing, they knew that they couldn't move on from Directs entirely. And I had been predicting in those videos that if and when Nintendo came back with a Nintendo Direct this year, that they would probably do it big and they would make it some sort of large celebration. And to me, a 50-minute Nintendo Direct basically tells us that. When's the last time we got a Nintendo Direct this long? This is bigger than even their E3 Directs. Beyond the length of the Nintendo Direct, of course, is what they talk about as far as games go. They talk about existing available games like Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. I will admit, when I first read that, I was like, oh no, is this just about games we already know about? Is this the first Direct in over a year just about games that we've already played? But that's not the case. They're basically telling us, hey, we will be spending some time on some games you already have played, like Smash Brothers, which means we are almost for sure getting a new Smash Brothers character for the Fighters Pass Volume 2. And I think we're probably also, this is a prediction, I think we're probably also going to get DLC announcements for Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. There could be some other things, maybe like, I don't know, some weird new late Fire Emblem DLC, or for some other game that I just am brain farting. I don't know, maybe there's new Pikmin 3 content coming. Maybe they're going to tell us Mario Galaxy 2 is coming in HD alongside of the 3D All-Stars. These are the kinds of things based on available games that I think we could see. But like I said, my big prediction, obviously a new Smash Bros. Fighter, and I do think Age of Calamity DLC will be revealed tomorrow. But of course, we have to talk about the new stuff. They tell us the first half of 2021 will be discussed and covered in this Nintendo Direct. So, basically between the month of February that we're in now and the month of June. Now that Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury is out, just like the video that I posted this morning, half an hour before Nintendo even confirmed this, I discussed how that was Nintendo's first-party game to release in 2021, and now that that game is out, we could probably expect some sort of update or Nintendo Direct or presentation about stuff for the rest of the year, and that seems to be what this Nintendo Direct is doing. It's weird how accurate I was with this stuff. I'm not usually this accurate about things, but man, I was on point about all this Nintendo Direct stuff, the Mario 3D World stuff, my video and everything that I talked about this morning. It's definitely pretty cool. It's better than my typical track record. I'm probably about 40-60 on most of my predictions, but on this one, I'm close to batting 1,000. I feel pretty good about that. So, what are they going to tell us about the first half of the year, man? I mean, what could we possibly expect? So I know at this point, I'm going to kind of have to rehash a little bit of what was in the video I posted literally earlier this morning. I mean, just hours ago the thing went live. I gotta work soon here. I don't have much time to make this video. This whole thing is crazy, and unfortunately, because this is new information that happened after I recorded my video, which was yesterday, it's like I almost have to bring up some of those points again in this video. So, I don't know, just bear with me. I know a lot of you have already seen that video. It's already got over 1,000 views, but this is what it is. We gotta talk about this. So, the main focuses, and I even talked about it in the video, are the big anniversaries, right? We know it's the Zelda anniversary. We know that it is the Metroid anniversary. Please be still my heart, Metroid. Is this possibly happening tomorrow? And, you know, the questions have been, are we going to get a Zelda Direct talking about new stuff they're doing for this year, or even a Metroid Direct talking about new stuff? I still think that we might get one or both of those directs focused on the franchises, but there's also a chance at tomorrow's direct that they are going to talk about and address both Zelda and Metroid. If they're going to do Zelda, Breath of the Wild 2 sure makes a lot of sense. Are they going to finally talk about that game, or maybe give us a little bit more of a trailer, maybe give us a title, and in that also confirm an actual Zelda-focused direct for maybe a couple of months down the road? I think that could happen. And so it's for that reason that I don't know that I'm expecting a lot of Zelda announcements or even a collection announcement. I feel like what they would do is a brief tease and a small new trailer for Breath of the Wild 2 and a confirmation of a Zelda Direct later, where hopefully they might tell us about, you know, some new collection of Zelda games. As far as Metroid, oh, Metroid, what's going on here? This is it, guys. This is the moment. So yeah, I kind of think that maybe tomorrow is the day we're going to hear from Metroid in some fashion. I mean, this is the beginning of the year. They always like to give us big updates in some kind of Nintendo Direct in the first couple of months, the first quarter of the year, which is part of why I was predicting Q1 for Nintendo Direct even before this happened. And because last year was weird and slow and no directs and a pandemic and delayed games and missing games and all these things, I feel like they're cramming a lot more into this direct, which is why it's 50 minutes. And of those things, yeah, I kind of think it's time for Metroid. Now, I will say, if we don't see Metroid tomorrow, I'm personally still going to be okay. I'm not going to be worrying about the state of Metroid or any new games, even for this year. I still think that that might come later. There's a chance that the Metroid stuff they might show could be so big that they want to do it closer to the E3 time, whatever happens over the summer. But I do still think that it could show up tomorrow as well. So I know all of us want to put all our money on Metroid. I know you want me to put my money on Metroid, and trust me, I'm with you. I would like to do that, but I am 50-50. 50-50 says half of me thinks it could happen tomorrow, the other half of me thinks it's happening later. But the main thing I want us all to take away from Metroid tomorrow is that if it shows up, great, we're all going to be happy. I'm going to literally explode, and I'll try to film it for you guys so you can see it. But if we don't hear from Metroid, I think we should still all remain calm, because I don't think it will be a bad sign for the future of the franchise. More than likely, they'll probably touch on Bravely Default 2 and Monster Hunter Rise, which are confirmed games coming out in the next couple of weeks that we already know about, we've seen, we've played, there's been demos, so they'll probably give some brief small updates, maybe a new trailer, and focus on those. Two other huge games we know about this year, though, Bayonetta 3 and No More Heroes 3. No More Heroes 3 has the benefit of being confirmed for 2021, so man, if we get both Metroid information and No More Heroes information in the same Nintendo Direct, you guys, I'm going to melt into a puddle of goo over how excited that will make me and how amazing this Direct could possibly be. I'm probably raising the bar too high for both my expectations and your guys's, so maybe we should relax a little bit and calm down, but I don't know, screw it, man. It's the first Nintendo Direct in 500 days. So yeah, gimme Zelda, gimme Metroid, and give me Travis Touchdown. I've been predicting mid to late summer for No More Heroes 3, so that game, if it shows up with a date tomorrow, I'm thinking July or August is the target date for that. Now, Bayonetta 3, of course, is a different situation because I think most of us expect that game in 2021, but we don't know that. Who knows when that game is coming out? The recent quotes from Kamiya were so cryptic, it makes us wonder if that game slowed down or restarted some development, and so maybe it's got delayed and pushed farther back than they initially intended, similar to Metroid Prime 4. I mean, who even knows, man? So I do think there's a great chance we see it tomorrow, but it's not a lock, and for all we know, that game slipped to next year. And if so, then I don't think we would see Bayonetta tomorrow. And beyond that, it's going to be all about new stuff and new games. And I think, you know, some of the things I predicted in this morning's video were like Pikmin 4, which is a pretty big first-party Nintendo game I think might still be planned to come out this year. Could they show it in this Direct? Yeah, possibly. I think they could do like a February announcement for like an April, May, or June release of Pikmin 4. I think that that's, you know, enough time for Nintendo to be able to generate some hype. I mean, look at what they did with Age of Calamity and Paper Mario last year. I think they could get away with something similar with a big title like Pikmin 4. So maybe we see that happen. Are we going to get another Wii U port announcement? I feel like games like Star Fox Zero or Xenoblade Chronicles X, two of the last big games that could possibly be ported from the Wii U to the Switch, those might be things that we hear from tomorrow in the Direct. I think there's a good chance we hear about some sort of big port, maybe some more third-party confirmations like more Resident Evil games coming over to the Nintendo Switch. What about, as I discussed this morning, hearing from Retro Studios, which seems impossible, or more likely, Monolith Soft? Do we hear from Monolith Software tomorrow? And I mean, yeah, pretty much everything I talked about in this morning's video could potentially make sense to show up in tomorrow's Nintendo Direct. I mean, it's crazy. And so, obviously, I think I've done enough repeating of some of the bullet points from that video in this video. But this is all to say that as far as tomorrow's Nintendo Direct goes, the sky is the limit. 50 minutes, it's almost an hour, one of, if not the longest Nintendo Direct we've ever had. We know we're getting updates on current games and some DLC stuff, but they're also giving us new games and new announcements for the first half of 2021, which still leaves us 4.5 months between now and then. That's a lot of time for Nintendo to fill up with some new games. So at that point, I'm running out of time and I'm gonna have to wrap this video up. This is crazy exciting. Are we getting Metroid tomorrow, you guys? Man, I'm just like freaking out thinking that there's a chance we see Metroid, you know? And I'm still being serious that I'm not going to be crushed if we don't see it, because I could understand why, and I recommend you should also not be crushed, but just it feels so possible. You guys, Metroid feels so possible right now. I don't know. I'm getting the tingles, and I shouldn't get the tingles because it's so easy to get let down in situations like this. But yeah, I mean, we stand on a great precipice with so many opportunities in front of us. Who knows what Nintendo is going to do tomorrow? I feel like they're going to knock this one out of the park. They know how long it's been. They know how much we've been missing Nintendo Directs. They're giving us almost an hour. They're not blind or ignorant to how people talk and think and what we're all looking for from Nintendo. So I think tomorrow's going to be a real banger, and so we'll just have to see how it goes. Of course, talk about what you think about my predictions, share your own predictions, let's all get excited. Here we go. Let's go, boys and girls, Nintendo Direct tomorrow. So, with that, this video is a wrap. Thanks, of course, as always, for tuning in, guys. This is Rob with Review, and I'll catch you next time on another video.